Oh, hello, vinyl community. It's Jacob coming to you from the Dallas Open Micer YouTube channel. Thought it would be fun to participate in the Heart of Rock and Roll is Still Beatin in 2026 vinyl tag. It's a rock tag that's a little bit different from other rock tags. I thought these prompts were enticing, and they got me to make this response video. Didn't want to miss the boat on this. Now, without further ado, let's get rocking. Number one, show a record from an artist or group that predated rock and roll and influenced the birth of rock and roll. I'll show a couple of records here. You got this record with Les Paul and Mary Ford. Les Paul famously developed a solid body electric guitar. The Gibson line of Les Paul guitars been very popular with rock musicians over the years, and Les Paul also was a pioneer of the use of tape in the studios following World War II. That was one of our plunders of war that we took from the Germans, because we do not hold Les Paul responsible for prog rock. Another artist that predated rock and roll, Johnny Ace, an R&B singer from Memphis. He was on his way to being a big star, and then he accidentally ended his life in a gun accident. This is his big hit Memorial album. This pressing, I don't know why they needed to make this in stereo. Sounds good, but perhaps just a little bit echoey. Johnny Ace was a Memphis artist that played with the Memphis blues and R&B singers from Memphis in the 1950s, and also was an inspiration to the young rockers that would come out of Memphis. Next up, show an architect of rock and roll. Bo Diddley, fantastic guitar player, singer, all-around entertainer. Very exciting fellow there. Next up, show a rock and roll 45 and or 78. I'll do both. Got a song from my favorite songwriting team from the Great American Songbook era, Rodgers and Hart. This is Blue Moon, the Marcel's doo-wop version. This is it's a good time there. Next up, a bit of a novelty song from Laverne Baker, Tweedledee. Next up, show a girl group. All right, got a Carole King song by the Shirelles. Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? And an infectious pop tune, Mr. Sandman by the Chordettes. Now show a mono rock and roll LP. I think rock and roll can sound really good in mono. I do like the sound of mono guitar. This is Richie Valens' second album. It's not the one with all the hits, but it's a very satisfying listen. Now show an instrumental rock record. This one dips into other genres as well, but we can include this in the rock and roll family right here. Santo and Johnny with Sleepwalk. Show a rock record that isn't guitar rock. Got Clarence Frogman Henry. This, I think, was a self-released record later in his career. He played the piano. Show a mid to late career masterpiece from an artist or group that went through some tough times or lean years. It can be creatively or commercially. You had Elvis. He recorded a lot of slop even before slop was popular. This Promised Land album was recorded at Stax. It's a mid-70s release. I think this might have been recorded in 73 or 74. Started off with the title track, Chuck Berry's Promised Land, and Elvis and the band just go all in on it. And then the closer on here is a cover of a Billy Joe Shaver tune. Wonderful record from Elvis. And there's some good fun in between. Next up, show a record from a rock guitar god. Well, got one of Elvis's great guitar players here. He was a rock guitar god, a country guitar god, and a jazz guitar god. Here we have Hank Garland on one of his jazz albums for Columbia. Really, really good listening. All right. Next up, show a record from a rocker who had some success in a genre outside of rock and roll. Another artist with a country connection. This fellow used to wear a cowboy hat, and some of this song started out as a country tune. This is Bill Haley with Rock Around the Clock on 78. Next up, name or show a rock album that you enjoyed in your youth that you have since grown to learn is not good. You are not expected to still have that album in your collection. I guess they want us to make a confession here. I had an album, the 1987 White Snake CD. That was peak corporate hair metal time when you had the formula of the ballad to lure in the female listeners, and then the hard rockers and the radio friendly hits. I did not pay full price. I bought a used copy as a teenager, and I'm ashamed to tell you that I listened to that CD more than once. Now, I do not identify as another heart in need of rescue, waiting on love's sweet charity, but there are many grown, middle-aged men, some men pushing, have broken through senior status who could still listen to that stuff without being sickened to their stomach, and that thought frightens me. Fellas, open your eyes and stop listening to White Snake before it's too late. Our most of our lives are behind us now, and we don't need to waste any of those precious sands in our hourglass listening to White Snake. Even if you like it, I encourage you, I implore you to find other things that you could enjoy and would enhance your life. 14, give a strong opinion that you have about rock and roll. I've written out my opinion, hoping I can get this in one take. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to tell you that Don McLean was wrong when he told us that February 3rd, 1959 was the day that the music died. The day that the music died was February 9, 1964. The day that the Beatles first appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. The British invasion devastated the superior American music industry. Please note that I'm not speaking of the classical music market here. Metaphorically, I think of the Beatles as an infectious disease that swept across the United States and Canada, much like the germs of the colonial European invaders, which ran rampant through the indigenous populations of the Americas, whose bodies lacked the natural immunities to fight back against the unfamiliar contagion. Then the metaphor got mixed up, and the Beatles became a cancer that latched onto and weakened the living host. American popular music, the music that topped the charts, would never fully recover and regain its former vitality. The cancer wouldn't be noticed immediately, but the tumors would grow. Grown adults who should have known better but lacked perfect courage and taste bowed their knees and recorded Beatles tracks to try to remain relevant. Meanwhile, the Pied Pipers of Liverpool led a generation of impressionable young rock and roll fans away from the masculinity of the blues. Never mind the Bollocks. The boys didn't need them to play prog rock or disco. And those dangling bits certainly weren't missed during the lipstick and hairspray days of the 1980s. The Beatles made rock weak and ripe for being conquered. The near-fatal blow was inevitable. Ultimately, the hand to deal that blow would come from 90s rap and the power of its misogynistic masculinity. That leads us to the question, what was the day when the British invasion died? I don't know for sure, but I don't believe that any self-respecting adult could still love the Beatles without shame after June 21st, 2018, the day that the Late Late Show aired Sir Paul McCartney's carpool karaoke episode with James Corden. If you are a Beatles fan who can watch Paul McCartney sing Hey Jude with James Corden and then look me in the eye and tell me that your God did not turn Judas and betray you for 30 pieces of silver, you are beyond hope. However, if you felt shame in that moment, rejoice. There is hope for you. Let the Beatles leave the Beatles behind and seek out the heart of rock and roll in the places where it is still beaten. Well, that was a lot of fun. And it's a short video for me. I'll get this thing done under 13 minutes. Happy New Year, rock and rollers.